The early 2010s were pretty few consequential years when it comes to technology. Facebook was still cool, Instagram was released with a vendetta to change that, and the first iPad was unveiled, permanently switching parenting's difficulty to easy mode. Before the eye-injected morphine that's Cocomelon and YouTube Kids began to sculpt the modern understanding of an iPad kid, one simple question highlighted what a child such as myself wanted from the device.
Do you got games on your phone?
Mobile games. Back in the day, you'd do anything to get your hands on someone's smartphone to play one of the classics. Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja, Jetpack Joyride, need I go on? You know, now that I think about it, every mobile game that I've ever played or heard of was released before I even had my own smartphone. I haven't really been playing mobile games lately though. Maybe I've just, fallen out of the loop of whatever's new. Let's just take a look at the App Store, see what's popular nowadays. Oh, I guess Fruit Ninja's still cooking. Subway Surfers? Temple Run? Candy Crush? Is this the App Store or a time capsule? Why does the game lineup in the App Store look identical to what it did back in 2012? Roll the intro. What is it, Candace? We don't have an intro? What do you mean I'm talking to myself again? What, next you're gonna tell me I forgot to take my meds or some shit? In 2007, the first iPhone was released, which transformed a cell phone from a device that could make phone calls into a device that could pretty much do anything. Unsurprisingly, this thing was popular. Other phones could browse the internet, take photos, and play music, but what set the iPhone apart was its touchscreen display.
We're gonna use a stylus.
Hello, little stylus.
Hello, Mario.
No.
As Steve Jobs explained, every application wants a slightly different user interface. A touchscreen allowed developers to give users control of their apps in almost infinite ways. You can tap the screen, you can swipe it, you can pinch it. Okay, I might have slightly overestimated the number there. With this cornucopia of possibilities, some game developers had an idea. I imagine it went something like this. Hey, have you seen this new iPhone? It's amazing. But can it run Doom though? I don't know, dude. I just got it to run on my toaster last week, so probably. Let's give it a try. Hold on a minute. We make games. What if we try and make a game for the iPhone? I like it. Maybe something a little more generally accessible than Doom. Agreed. What do you have in mind? Birds. What? Who can forget Angry Birds? Based after the iconic animal, the bird, Angry Birds is a game that highlights what birds are best known for, their hatred for incompetently designed architecture. This simply designed physics-based puzzle game was a blast to play, and the whole world agrees, because Angry Birds has amassed a total of over 5 billion downloads across the entire series. To put that number in perspective, that's 1 billion downloads for each finger I have in my hand. Angry Birds was successful for a few reasons. First, it had extremely understandable gameplay. You shoot your birds on a slingshot and knock down the tower to defeat the pigs. But it wasn't mindless. The levels were designed well enough so you'd actually have to devise a plan to squish all the pigs. Different birds had different abilities, the buildings were made of different materials, there was enough mechanics to keep such a simple concept interesting and fun. Secondly, the game was available on one of the most commonplace pieces of technology ever created, so I'm sure that helped a little bit. These two factors perfectly describe the prevalence and popularity of most mobile games back in the early 2010s. Extremely accessible games on extremely accessible hardware. Most successful mobile games don't have narratives or really any complexities to them. When you're playing a game on console or PC, your session is premeditated. You're carving out a chunk of time so that you can do some gaming. Mobile games are being played to fill an unused chunk of time. Short and spontaneous play sessions are the norm for mobile games, so any game that wanted to be a success needed to fit this role. One of the most common genres of mobile game to do this was the endless runner. One of the first games I remember with this framework was Temple Run, followed soon after by Subway Surfers, then followed by hundreds of imitators. I guess the endless runner just tickles something deep inside our monkey brains, whether it be running away from a pack of vicious man-eating creatures or fat people. It's our natural urge to try and escape whatever's chasing us. Endless runners are even easier to pick up and play than a game like Angry Birds is. They start at a relatively slow pace, then slowly ramp up the difficulty as you survive longer and longer. Using the same psychology as old-school arcade games, endless runners grab your attention by making you feel like you're getting the hang of it, then ripping the control away by ramping the difficulty 10x right after that. Endless runners are almost poetic, running away from something towards nothing, your pace ever increasing, fleeing certain doom but with no end in sight.
You're not that guy, okay?
Endless runners are one of the most arcadey genres of mobile game, but they're not the only thing that did well on the platform. Puzzle games were just as big, if not bigger. The aforementioned Angry Birds, Bad Piggies, Where's My Water, Cut the Rope, and Candy Crush. All these games have a myriad of levels to make your way through, each presenting you with different challenges you must overcome with the tools you've been allotted. I absolutely loved this type of game back in the day. The puzzle genre lends itself perfectly to mobile. Divvying each puzzle challenge into short, digestible levels allots the gameplay sessions perfectly into the gaps that mobile games typically would fill. What was so great about the mobile game boom was the surge of arcade-style games that resulted from it. These are what I like to call gamey games. What I mean by this is they're extremely easy to pick up and start playing right away. No need to remember controls or any narrative elements that were occurring. They're just plain and simple fun, just like an old-school arcade game. Now, these games just can't stack up when put beside huge AAA productions on PC or console, but mobile provided them with the environment they really needed to shine. There's also one more game type that I'd like to highlight: the real-time strategy base-building games, with their leader, of course, Clash of Clans. What an iconic game, bro. Lead your conquest by commanding a fleet of barbarians, archers, goblins, giants, and to decimate an enemy base. On the flip side, you must also design and upgrade your own base to defend it from enemy attacks. This game, despite its simplicity and presence on mobile, is actually pretty nuanced and has been continuously supported for over a decade with fresh updates that add new bases, troops, and gameplay mechanics. And here lies the question I'm trying to investigate with this video. Clash of Clans has managed to stay afloat and on the front page of the App Store for a long time. While it's nowhere near as popular as it was during its inception, kind of like my YouTube channel, it's still pretty dang big, comparable to something like Hollow Knight. Hell, my dad plays this game and he's like a bona fide professional too. He's been playing it nonstop for years. The sentiment is this: where have all the new mobile games been the last 10 years? When I think of mobile games, I think Clash of Clans, Jetpack Joyride, Geometry Dash, nothing within the past 5 years. The way I see it, there's two possible explanations for this. Either the golden age of mobile games was the genre's peak and we've only gone downhill since, or I just don't play mobile games anymore, so I'm unaware of whatever's new. Let's look at the App Store to find out. First up, we've got the critically acclaimed Pokemon Sleep. Honestly, I forgot this game even existed till I saw it on the App Store. Step 1, gotta pick a country. Who could use some sleep? Birthday, easy. Terms and conditions, transactional data, technical data, inconspicuous allotment of background processing power for crypto mining. Par for the course, really. Can we use your personal information? Be my guest. All right, looks like we're finally ready to play.
Oh shit, works like a charm.
We got our boy Professor Neroli. Sleeping habits, working to record them while they sleep. Now he's asking me to sleep with Pikachu.
What do you mean by that?
Just gotta set my bedtime and bam, we're good to go. Sleep tutorial? Game, I think I know how to sleep. On the other end, he looks pretty experienced. Let's start tracking sleep.
I'm gaming.
This app requires permission to access your microphone in order to perform the below actions while tracking your sleep. Track and measure sleeping noises.
Nailed it!
Alright, that's enough Pokemon Sleep for me. Can't win them all, I guess. Next game I've gathered is called Cats and, you guessed it, Soup. Basically, you have these little cats and they're prepping some ingredients to brew up some soup. It's cute. Full transparency, I didn't play this game for long, but the art style is charming and it looks like a lot of effort went into its creation. Oh, I've got to open up a treasure chest. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the catalyst for mobile games' fall from grace. Ads. Back in the early days of the mobile game industry, there were almost no advertisements. A couple of in-app purchases here and there were the only ways app creators were making any money. Nowadays, you can't even find a mobile game without banner ads, ads playing after you die, watching ads to earn coins, ads during the middle of gameplay. How dare these hedonistic, capitalistic assholes spoil their creations with monetization? I personally would never let something as shallow as the pursuit of wealth interrupt my
Grubhub Perks give you deals on the food you love.
The rapid onslaught of ads into every mobile game on the market was no accident. It turned a stupid little hobby into a lucrative business venture. If your game went viral, everyone wanted to get in on this, and as more and more games flooded the market, the overall quality began to nosedive. This leads us to today, where the App Store looks like a cemetery of a time long since past. Nothing new and exciting. The only thing that's left is to relive the glory days forever. There are still mobile games out there made with passion and care, but I don't want to shift through mountains of garbage trying to find a diamond in the rough. Who knows though? Maybe one day, a silly phone game just might come out that captures all our attentions once again. But until that day, Just get a PC or console, the game's like 100 times better.